Hi, my name is Alex. I'm live at the SPS 2022 in Nuremberg. As Director of Global Channels, I'm heading the channels for the group. So it's an absolutely pleasure now to see not just vendors, distributors, to see our cooperation partners and even our channel partners live here on the trade fair. So we do have, for examples, all over Europe channels that now attending the trade fair to see the upcoming trends now. But it's more exciting to see that the trends on the SPS are all into the direction of OT security as well as the visualization of data. And this is exactly where Optoplant comes into count and delivers an additional value to our end customers. So having a lot of discussions today here on the trade fair, we basically saw that one of the main questions all our end customers are facing is a centralization of data and the visualization of data. This is where Optoplant Hub comes into account and gets you an option to visualize all the data in one place on one central view.
Hello and welcome to the AUVESY-MDT Connect Express. This year we are at the SPS trade show. It's the first day. My name is Georgios. I'm the head of customer success at AUVESY-MDT, and I have Ajay and Jonathan here with me from Siemens UK. Hello and welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself right quick?
Hello, Georgios. Nice to meet you, and thank you for inviting us for this interview. My name's Ajay Blanc. I'm from Siemens Customer Services in the UK. And we've come to visit the SPS Fair 2022.
Thank you.
Hello, and my name's Jonathan Comer. I'm also from Customer Services in the UK, from Siemens. And this is my first time at the SPS 2022. And we're here to see all the new Siemens equipment that's on show. And it's very nice to meet you, Yogo.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So it's your first time. So when was the last time you attended such a trade show?
So I've actually not been to a trade fair in Germany before. This is my first SPS, so it's quite interesting seeing the scale of how big SPS is, and I think it's quite interesting to see how big the Siemens Hall is as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's an experience. Yeah.
So if you would compare this trade show to others, what would be the equivalent in the UK maybe you have attended?
In the UK, we had a trade show earlier this year in July called Transform. It was similar to this, but on a smaller scale. But it gave us a good idea of what the new products are going to be on show and coming out next year and the year after, etc.
Also seeing all the challenges that customers are facing and what solutions Siemens are providing for those challenges. So that was quite interesting. So that was obviously a smaller scale compared to here in Nuremberg. So this is a lot bigger in comparison. But this is very interesting.
I can imagine. So Jonathan, Ajay, thank you for the quick introduction. So how do you feel attending such a trade show, especially after the COVID situation, during the last 2 years?
So this is quite interesting. I find it quite good to see basically lots of people not worrying about social distancing, personal space, where some people want to wear a mask, they can do, people don't object. And if you do wear a mask, people don't see it as an issue. And I think see the numbers of people here in one place. I think I can't imagine that maybe 2 years ago, but it's good. We're getting, let's say, closer to normality, and I think it's great that you don't need to worry about such things anymore, and hopefully the future is positive.
Yes, as Ajay said, after the chaos of the last 2 years, it's great to get to some sort of normality again.
Jonathan, Ajay, what trends do you see first at the SPS show, but also out there on the market?
So for me, when I see, let's say, a global food and beverage company taking on a digitalization engineer, that to me is real commitment from a company deciding that digitalization is the future, and I see them embracing it with resource. So you see sometimes we have a trend where there's solutions products, but to see an end user actually embrace that, that's a really positive thing. I think that gives me the message that they see this as long term. If they don't take on the digitalization, they'll be left behind. And I think the smaller companies will take note of this as well. But I think it's a trend that's growing strong from what I can see. And I think, don't you think, Jonathan, with some of the solutions that have been available?
Yes, there's been a huge increase in the digital twin offerings from various companies, including Siemens. We're seeing a lot, almost like an explosion of digital twins. So, companies out there have a lot to choose from, but we have our own special offering, which we think is better than the competition, which we have to say.
That is a very nice transition, because the statement of the Siemens booth is, how the digital twin comes to life. So, do you have maybe some examples, some experience?
So I think with the Siemens customer services business has acquired Sensei, and seeing how the Sensei application solution that they offer can use existing data sets to provide a return of interest very quickly. And that's to me is very interesting, because you can work with existing data from a brownfield site. You can look at existing data sets. There's no real, let's say, go and acquire new information, but they can really data mine the information that you already have, which I think is ultimately something that can help the business improve, definitely, without doubt.
Yeah, the Siemens Sensei solution has a return on investment of less than 12 months, which sounds incredible, but it is true. So this is something that we're looking forward to seeing with regards to condition monitoring and various bottling lines or conveyor systems in various factories around the country. This is something we'll be promoting quite strongly in the future.
So which potential do you see? Because I hear there's real examples you have with your customers already, right? So you see a big potential on the digital twin and how it comes to life over the time down the road?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing, basically we have a solution called Visendo, so a virtual training solution, operate training. So effectively you can train operators to build let's say, a vehicle engine, and that engine can be made maybe anywhere in the world. So from a globalization perspective, we know factories are all over the world these days. You can train someone, and you can also improve the quality without any language barriers. So effectively we can have real hands-on training and hit the ground running as soon as the factory is actually built. So you can do the training in advance and get the guys basically and girls basically to be upskilled and know how to get the perfect nirvana of 100% quality.
Talking about the engineering efficiency, AUVESY-MDT recently launched the new product OctoPlant, which is the further development of our previous product VersionDoc. What are your experience so far? What would be the most important value we provide with that product?
So with the VersionDoc, the feedback I get directly from our customers who use it, I think is really the disaster recovery and having the version control, where effectively you can see who's made changes. So let me give you an example. So they have an OEM and OEM1 and OEM2, and they can see what changes they've made. And an OEM can't hide behind a curtain and not disclose that they didn't make a change. They can keep track of what's been done, so which is really great. They actually think it's a great product, and they've been using it for some years, and this is the feedback I get from the customer. So it's not myself using the product, but getting that feedback tells me that basically the customer thinks it's a great product. It helps his life, makes his life easier. If they have multiple engineering stations, they can also manage those multiple engineering stations, multiple engineers, multiple OEMs. So having to do that all manually in some version control document is very difficult. But to be able to do it in a single product, I think is a great thing.
Thank you.
And the BI tool, or the business intelligence tool, is an amazing sort of extra part to the old VersionDoc product. I mean, for a user that doesn't use the OctoPlant system every day, he can log in using a normal web client, and he can see at a glance whether all his backup jobs have been completed successfully, or whether any have failed, or any other issues on the plant. So that is a major development in the product. It's really, really good.
Thank you very much, Jonathan and Ajay, for being here today and for sharing your experience. I wish you a very successful rest of the day and enjoy the trade show.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Thank you.